Okay, so let's add our little point collectible to this game, and we can basically just go to 3D object and add a what should we do? I guess we're just gonna add a cube here, and I need to move it up so that we can actually see it in our game. So just move it here in front of the player so that we can see it. And I'm going to make it a little smaller, I think, maybe 0.8 in all axes here. Let's see how big it's gonna look. That's gonna be fine. So in ZigZag these are purple or pink or whatever, so I'm gonna go to materials, right click, go to create, and create a new material, and I'm gonna select the color. I'm gonna try to make it something like they have in that game here, and I'm gonna drag it onto the cube. I'm just gonna rename this to pickup, and I'm gonna go to prefabs, and I'm gonna create down here. In the game it's actually some diamonds, so maybe we can just twist this a little so it looks a little more like something, I don't know, diamond like. Yeah, there we go. Then it looks a little more like those in the game. Anyway, we should place these around in our level so that we can actually collect them. So first of all, I would like to place them, and when we have placed them, then I would like to start collecting them. So our pickup has a box collider on it, and it should have, but the box collider needs to be a trigger so that we can remove them at some point. I would like to drag in my left tile and my top tile here. I already have a left tile that's down here under my, yes, okay. So I'm gonna take one of these left tiles, and I'm gonna take the pickup here and duplicate it, and then I'm gonna place it on top of this of the left tile. Actually, this is easier if it's not rotated at all. And I'm just gonna place it basically right on top of the left tile. I'm gonna lower it a little so it's closer to the ground. There we go. So now I've placed it on top of the left tile, and when I've done that, then I can actually start rotating it so it looks like that diamond thing, kinda. And when I've done that, then I'm gonna take this pickup here, just rename it to pickup again, because now it was pickup 1 because I just duplicated it, and I'm gonna find the tile I'm over, left tile 1. I'm gonna drag pickup down here so that it's child object of left tile, and then I'm just gonna take it and I'm gonna disable it, and then I'm gonna drag it onto the left tile down here. There we go. I'm gonna remove the left tile 1 again, and then I'm gonna do the exact same thing with my top tile here. I'm gonna take the pickup here, there's the pickup. I'm gonna put it on top of this, just as I did before, down here, and just around the middle where you think the middle is. There we go. And then I'm gonna put it lower to the ground, just a little over it here, and then I'm gonna rotate it as I did before, just like that. There we go. And then I'm gonna make it as a child object of the top tile, and I'm gonna put it down here, and then I'm gonna need to remember to disable the object here so we can't see it from the get-go. There we go. Okay, so nothing should have changed so far when we start our game. We can still run it, and we can still run over all these and let them fall down and everything. So now we need to spawn these pickup tiles, and we need to do that from within our script. So if we go to our script, our tile manager script, and go to the spawn tile function, in here we need to make sure that our pickable can spawn. So down here, after we have spawned the correct tile, we can say integer spawn pickup, and it should be also random range. And here we need to make a random possibility of this one to spawn. I'm going to say 0 to 10. So it's going to be 0 to 9 and 1/10 of it. So it's going to be 1/10 of a chance to spawn this pickup here. I'm going to say if spawn pickup equals 0. If it does that, then we should spawn it. And we already have the pickup on the tile, because basically it's on the tile, and all we need to do is to go to the tile and enable this so that it actually is spawned. So how do we do that? Well, we basically go to the tile and we find the second, as you can see here, we find the second child, which is 0 and 1, so child number 1, and we enable it from the script like this. So we can do that by saying current tile dot transform dot get child first game object dot set active true. So now there's a chance that we can actually spawn these tiles here. So let's see, play our game and see what happens if we get any of them. If I remember to save, that is. There we go, there's our first pickup, and the next one, there we go. But we can't pick them up yet. Of course we need to add some functionality so that we can also pick them up, and then later we can add some functionality so that we get extra points or something when we pick up all these spawning objects. So let's jump back into our script, and now I would like to go to my player script, and in here I want to make a void on trigger enter and collider other, and if other dot tag equals pickup, well then I should take other dot game object dot set active false. So far we also want to put some particle effects or something so it looks a little more fancy, but for now we're just gonna disable it to see if it works. So we need to put the pickup tag on our pickable. So pickup here, tag, add tag, click here and pick up, and then we're gonna click on it again, go to tag and pick up, and the same goes for these inside our prefabs. So now make sure that all of them has the pickup tag. So let's see, now we should be able to run through our pickups, and then we should be able to remove them. As you can see here, we just collected 2 of them. We are not doing anything yet, but we're just removing them. So the next thing we need to do is to add some nice particle effect whenever we pick up one of these. So go to create and go to particle system, and here you can see we have some particles that is firing, and we would like to set the start color to purple, and the duration we would put at 1, for example. What else do we have? Start delay, no start delay. Start speed, maybe make them a little slower. Start size, maybe they're a little too big, 0.5 instead. Yeah. And you can of course play around with this and put it as you want to. Do we have something on the emission? Yeah, there's some. We can make a burst or something. So we're gonna make a burst of 30 particles in the beginning. Yeah. And we shouldn't loop it, just do it once. And that's basically what I want to set up. You can always change this. Just gonna have this down here as a prefab, so we have a particle system, and then we need to instantiate this particle system so that we can see it. So we need to go to our player and player script here, and we need to create a public game object called PS as particle system, and down here we need to instantiate PS at transform.position and criterion.identity, so we don't rotate. And yeah, that's basically it right now. Let's see if it works. We're gonna click on our player, and we're gonna see we have our particle system here. So we're just gonna instantiate it here, or drag it over there so we can instantiate it. And we just had one in our game. Let's see, we have one here. Should delete it so it doesn't fire right away. So let's see, we have some pickups here. Yeah, so now we get some particles whenever we pick up our items here. So I know it's not the best effect or anything, but we can play around with that for hours just to make sure that it looks nice. But you can do that yourself, just play around with it and make it look better. So we also need to delete our particle system. So to delete it, we can add a new script, right click in your script folder and create a particle script. I can't spell particle script. Yeah, hope that's right. Anyway, then we need to make sure that our what's called our particles get deleted when we're done using them, when they're not emitting anymore. So basically we need to say private particle system should be here if I could spell. There we go, PS, and we're gonna find it, so we're gonna ps.get equals get component particle system. So what we're doing now is that we are on our particle system. If we go to our prefab here, this particle system here is gonna have the particle script on it, and this script is gonna look for this particle system here. So this script is gonna get a reference to this so that we can check if it's running, and if it's not running we're gonna delete it so we don't have it on our game forever. So in our update we're basically just gonna say if ps.isAlive is playing, it's called destroy game object. So we're gonna make an exclamation mark here, so as if our particle system isn't playing, then we're gonna destroy it. So at some point it stops playing, then we're just gonna destroy it. So let's see if we have a game here, and see. We can actually make it easier if we search for particle. Let's see. Then they should show up there if there's something called particle. There is our particle systems, and they should be deleted soon when they're done playing. There we go. And as you can see, they're deleted slowly. So now they're disappearing up here when they're done playing. As you can see, should do, yeah, there we go. So now it deletes the particle systems. So the last thing we are gonna handle in this video is the player death, because right now we don't have any gameplay really, or we have gameplay but we don't have any challenge because our player is not dying. It's like we can fall off the edge here, we can just keep moving and banging into stuff. So we need to make sure that our player can die. So first of all, we need to make sure that we're not over a tile. So to make sure that we can figure out if we are in a tile or not, we can add a tile tag to these tiles, because all these tiles, if you look at here, we have this collision box, and every time we exit one of these collision boxes we want to check if we are on another tile. So if we have two tiles next to each other, like here and here, well then we exit one collision box when we enter another. So we shouldn't fall down and die here, but only if we run out of this edge, for example, we exit the collision box and we should just fall to the ground and die. So to make sure that we do that, we can go to our tiles, click here on the tag, go to add tag, and we can add a new tag called tile. And we can click on the tag tile again, go to tag and add tile, top tile and add tile. So now they're both tagged as tiles. Should be, if I could click correctly. Yes, just check you don't pick anything else. So now they're both tagged as tile. Now we can make some code that actually uses this. So inside our player script, we can make a new function here called, actually I want to make it under enter, void on trigger exit collider other. And the thing is, on trigger exit is called whenever a trigger is exited, funny enough. So when your character comes in here and it exits here, then it's gonna be triggered. So we should make some code to react on this. So if other.tag equals tile, so if we just exited a tile, then we want to make a ray cast, and a ray cast is like an invisible ray you can cast somewhere, and then you can check what you just hit. And what we're going to check, if every time we exit one of these, we're going to make a ray cast downwards to see if we are inside a if we are inside a another tile, and if we are outside a tile, well then we're not going to hit anything, so we know that the player is dead because it's not ray casting downwards. So let's see, we have a player here. If we play our game and we just go to our player, so what would happen is that this player would make an invisible ray, shoot down an invisible ray, and it would keep shooting that ray down all the time, keep shooting, and it keeps shooting. Now it exited one of the colliders, and it needs to check if it's over another brick, and now it's ray casts until this one, and it knows that there is something, it hit a brick, but then it exits here and it's gonna make a new ray cast, and it's not gonna hit anything, it's gonna make a ray cast downwards, so we know we need to kill the player, and the player should just fall to the ground or die. So we can say raycast hit, it's called hit, and then we're gonna say ray down ray equals new ray, and you're gonna be transformed that position, so we're gonna cast this ray from the player's position, and we're gonna say vector 3 up minus vector 3 up. That's the same as vector 3 down though. So we're gonna cast the ray downwards from the player. If physics dot raycast down ray out hit. So if we hit something, we're gonna store the information inside this hit here. I'm gonna make an exclamation mark here, so if it didn't happen, if we didn't hit anything, well then we should be dead. So in here, kill player. And what could we do here to kill the player? Well, first of all, we should set the player to be dead, so we can create a private bool called isDead, and when we start, isDead is false, which means that we should set isDead to be true here. So when the player is dead, we don't want to be able to change our direction. So basically, we should just say and here, if we click our mouse, is dead if he isn't dead. So when he dies, we can't switch our direction anymore and move other ways around. What else do we want to do? We don't want the camera to keep following him when he dies. That's a nice indicator to see if we should if the player should be dead. So let's go to the, actually we should just make a reference to the camera here. So if we make a public game object, or I don't even need that because it's my main camera, so we can actually do something else. Let's see, because we need the camera to stop being a child object of the player. So we can actually say down here, we can say get child, transform that get child, of course, transform that get child 0 to get the camera, because right now the camera here, main camera here, is it's child 0. That transform that parent equals null. I think that should work for deparenting the camera. Let's try, see what happens. So we should be, if I go out here, yeah, as you can see, the camera stops following and the player just falls and dies here. So now we actually also have some functionality for the player to die. See if we run here, it's fine, and we go out, and I can't click to change direction or anything, and he's just gonna fall and die. So we also need to be able to reset our game, and the easiest way to reset the game is just to pop up a button or something on the screen when we die. So we can make some more fancy buttons later, but let's just create one now. UI button, and I'm just gonna call this reset button, and the text on the button should just be click to restart. And where do we have the button? We need to find the button and put it in front. Let's see, we have reset button here. There we go. So we're just gonna put it in here, and we're gonna make sure that it stretches. So I'm gonna click here and click the stretch here, so it fits whenever we port this to another device. This is just temporary. It will be changed out with another menu or something later, I guess. So this button should be disabled from the get-go, and the player should have access to it so that we can reset. So we're gonna make a public game object called reset button, and down here we are going to say, well, the player just died, so reset button dot set active true. And then we're gonna make a function so that our button can reset something. So buttons works like this, that they have an event here, on click event, and on that on click event you can click the plus button, and then you can select an object and call a function. So when I click a button, that function will be called. So what I can do is that I can add a function to my tile manager that resets. This is basically my general manager, so resets the game. So I can say public void reset level game, actually, and all it's going to do is going to load the level we are in. So application.load level, application.loaded level. So it's going to load the same level as we just had. So I'm going to save this, and I'm going to go to my button. I'm going to click the plus button to add the function. Then we're going to take the game object with the script on it, which is my tile manager, and then we're going to find the function under that's not tile I want to move, it was my tile manager, sorry, there we go, under tile manager, and then there should be like reset game. So now I've checked that when I click my button, this function in here is going to be called, and I'm just going to show the button when my player dies. So let's see. Oh, sorry, I haven't added, of course. Need to click my player, and I need to say the reset button here needs to be set as reference here so that my player can reach it and show it. So let's see. Let's try to pick up some things. We're playing our game, and then I died because I didn't turn. So now I'm basically dead, so I should be able to click this button here to reset and reset my game. So if you have noticed here that everything just got darker, and it happens when you reload a level. In Unity 5 there are some, I don't know if it's a bug or whatever, I already made a bug report about it a while back, basically when Unity 5 was just released, but it hasn't been fixed yet. But The good news is that this only happens in the editor. If I were to export this, say build and run just for PC, test game. If I would run this and build it and do it in a built version of this game, it will still have the correct colors when I play it. So let's let it build and let's give it a go. So now it has been built. Let's just wait. Just gonna play it here. So here's my game, I'm playing it, and I'm just gonna die right away. And the button pops up, it's kinda big, it just doesn't scale, and I reset, and the colors are still the same as you can see here. So it's only in the editor these problems exists. If you notice, there was also an exception popping up about a child object. I think, let's see if I just die here. Restart, no, before I think I had one exception. Just gonna save, see if anything changed. Because I think I had an exception before when I died, that my child object didn't. Apparently not. Yeah, that's basically it for this right now. Later I guess we're gonna add some points and everything, but this is the basic gameplay of the ZigZag game, and this shows how easy it is to make a game like this and what techniques you can use to create an infinite runner. As you can see right now, there's not a lot of challenge in it, but we can basically just take our player and say that our speed should be 15 instead. This should already create some more challenge here when it goes faster, as you can see here. And died. Here it is, transform child out of bounds, and it's on the player on exit. Yes, line 65, let's see. That's in here. So that's because this one is maybe getting called more times after I already de-childed it. So I'm gonna make an if statement saying if transform dot child count is larger than 0. If I do like this, then there shouldn't be any problems anymore. Let's just save. Else we'll just fix it later. So yes, that's the basic gameplay, and of course we'll make menus and everything later.